I did want to move on. I don't want to look back. And even though healing isn't an entirely linear process, even though I still continue to have triggers, I'm holding on to the belief that God gave me these trials for a reason. And that reason is to help people like me to be more aware, because I know that you do love me and you do care, but the reality, the world that you claimed that I had no knowledge of, is this. The reality is that you told me that you cared, and then you said that I've dragged the McCombses through the muck over and over again. You told me that I could do things and that you believed in me. And then you said how much shame I brought upon the family. You know, there was a time when Julie had written me a note, a letter, a very rare point in time where she apologized. And she said, I'm sorry I haven't been a better mother-in-law to you. I'm sorry that for this and that. And that was given to me the day before I thought I was going to go serve my time when I was pregnant. I tried to go many times. So she gave me that note. She took the time to write it. And honestly, I was afraid to open it up. I really was. I held on it for 2 days before I opened it up. And I was very, very touched. And I really had hope. I typed up the letter on my journal on my computer. I wrote it down in my journal. I said maybe things are starting to get better. Maybe things are changing. Maybe I can start to heal. But then a couple of days later, when I found out that I wasn't going in to serve my time, I'm not referencing this to be hostile. Surely you can understand that by now, because this message is almost an hour and I'm finishing up. But it's not to play the victim. It's really not. It's to put things into context. It's to gain empathy. The whole premise of my mission and my advocacy is to gain empathy, because I was so hopeful. I was so hopeful that things were going to get better, that there was growth, that the relationship could start to repair. But a couple of days later, I let myself be vulnerable. I believed it when she said that she loved me, and I remember crying to her in the street. And I remember my defenses being down, and I remember letting myself be vulnerable, which was something I did not do. I had shut off to protect myself. That is a very instinctual, protective thing to do, to protect yourself from harm, be it psychologically or physically. When you're damaged, your body will do anything to compensate. And I did let my guard down, and I did hug her, and I did start to cry. And I said, I just miss my kids so much. This is so hard. I miss my kids so much. This is just so hard. And I can't remember everything she said, but I was hugging her and I was vulnerable and I embraced her, and then she said, you wouldn't want me to put another restraining order on you, would you? And I was so shocked. I mean, I was so shocked. Like, I jumped back and I said, no. I'm like, why? Like, you just broke down my defenses. I wanted to trust you. I wanted to trust you. I hugged you and I cried. Why would you threaten me? Why would you threaten me with another restraining order after you just broke my defenses? I was so confused. That was on my 15th anniversary. I was so confused. And I was so hurt. And this is what I'm talking about, because people need to know you're my family. When they say that it's the people we love who hurt us the most, it's true, you know? I'm not telling you this to cause trouble. I'm not telling you this to stir up anger. I did that yesterday. I'm trying to make amends. But when you tell someone who is scared and hurting and vulnerable, when you tell them that you love them, and when you hug them, and when you give them an embrace, you don't flip on a dime and threaten them. That's not... And maybe you did the best you could. And I need to be better about forgiveness. And I need to be better about healing in that capacity. Healing from trauma is incredibly difficult. When I read your comments the other day, I had flashbacks. They were horrible. And I couldn't sleep at all last night, and I was racked, and I was tormented, and I was crippled. And it was so tempting to give in to my shame.